Hello everybody, so this video here today is to do some English. Now, yesterday Mrs. Brown went through the story map with you and hopefully you had a go at putting your own actions to help you learn the story of Journey. And today I'm going to start off by reading you the story, and I can see that there are some words highlighted in yellow. So as I'm reading the story, I want you to have a think about what types of words are they that have been highlighted in yellow. So I'm going to read the story to you, so hopefully you're sitting comfortably and listening. In a dreary and desolate bedroom sat a sullen-looking girl called Rebecca. She was miserable because she had nothing to do. One morning she drew some pictures with her special red crayon. After the third picture, she decided to be a little more mischievous. She picked up her red crayon and made an outline of a door on her bedroom wall. Excitedly, Rebecca stepped back to admire her door, and to her amazement, the door opened. Bravely, Rebecca stepped through the door. Immediately, she felt the blazing hot sun beam on her face, and she felt the boiling hot sand between her toes. Where am I? She wondered. In the distance, she could see domed buildings surrounded by thick, bricked wall. Cautiously, she walked towards the ancient buildings, but stopped when she saw fierce-looking guards charging towards her. Rebecca was terrified. Suddenly, she remembered her magical red crayon, and as quick as a flash, she drew a flying carpet and hoped that it would take off. She jumped on and whoosh! She zoomed high into the sunset sky. Her heart pounded like a drum as she flew back to the door of her dreary but safe bedroom. What a lucky escape that was. So, as I said, some of these words are highlighted in yellow. So I'd like you to pause the video. You might want to have a go back and look at the text and look at the words in yellow and think about what types of words are they. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you've had a look at these words and had a little think about what types of words you think they might be. So I wonder if you think that I've just randomly highlighted some of these words. Do you think that I've just chosen a few random words and highlighted them? No, there's something special and something in common with all of these types of words. And all of these words are adjectives. Can you remember what an adjective is? An adjective is a describing word. It gives us more information about something to describe it. It might be telling us what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, different ways to describe an object. And we're going to be looking at some of these adjectives and what they mean. So again, I'd like you to pause the video in a moment and look at these words again. Can you pick out any of these words that you don't know what they mean? And that is absolutely fine, because today we're going to be looking at what some of these words do mean. So see if you can maybe find a piece of paper and write down the words that you're not sure what they mean. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at writing down some words that you're not sure what they mean. And we had a little look at this in school together on Monday. And we picked out some words like dreary, desolate, sullen, mischievous, blazing, domed, and fierce. And we're going to be looking at what some of these words mean today. So we're going to be using a special website to help us research the definition of these words. And we're going to use a dictionary online. Can you remember what we use a dictionary for? So a dictionary provides us with a meaning of a word. So it tells us what a word means, and it can also show us how to spell words. And we're going to be using the dictionary today to find the meaning of these 5 adjectives from the story. So we're going to be looking at dreary, domed, ancient, mischievous, and blazing. We're going to be looking at these words together, and then if there are more adjectives that you're not sure of, you can go back and use these websites to help you find the meaning of any other words. as well. But we're going to be looking at these 5 together today. So the website that I'm going to be using is called Collins Dictionary, and it is a website that we can find online. So how the website works is you will put in the word that you want to find the meaning of. So we're going to start with dreary. So I've typed in dreary, and then it will tell me how to pronounce it. So when you're doing it on your own devices, you can listen to the word, how to pronounce it. And then it will tell us it's an adjective, which we know, it's a describing verb. And then it will tell us what the word means. So dreary, it means if you describe something as dreary, it means that it's dull. It's a little bit dull or boring if something is dreary. So going back to our flip charts, we know that if we describe something as dreary, it means it's dull. And then underneath here, it gives us words that have a similar meaning. So dull, boring are other words that we might use if we're describing something as dreary. So if we go back to the story, we know that it says in a dreary bedroom. So it's describing her bedroom as dull, boring. And we know that when we looked at the pictures in the story, there wasn't much in this little girl's bedroom. This is why we would describe it as dreary. So I've got the book here and we can see the little girl's bedroom. It looks quite dull and boring. Her bedroom is dreary in the story. So dreary means if it's dull or boring. We might also say that it's gloomy or sad. So we might say the girl is sat in her dreary bedroom. It means that it's gloomy, there's not much light in there, it's sad and it's dull. If I was going to put the word dreary into a different sentence that's not to do with the story, I could say last Wednesday was a dreary day. It means that it was a miserable day, it was probably raining, quite gloomy, we couldn't see the sun. It was a dreary day. It was such a boring and dreary day. So we could also use the word dreary to describe if we had a bit of a boring and a bit of a dull day, we didn't really get up to much, it was dreary. So I would like you to pause the video and see if you can have a go at saying the word and then describing what the word dreary means. Off you go. Brilliant. So the next word that we're going to look at from the story is domed. So in the story, if we go back to our text, they said that they could see domed buildings. So let's have a look at what the word domed means. It says, if something that is domed is in the shape of a dome. And we know that when we looked at the Taj Mahal, when we were learning about India, we talked about the domed shapes that we could see. So we can see the dome at the top here. This is a dome shape. And then on the top of the Taj Mahal, we can also see domed shapes. So they can see buildings in the shape of a dome. So if something is domed, it's describing something in the shape of a dome. Let's see if we can find the picture in the story. Here we go. So I can see some domed buildings which she could see in the story. So if something is domed, it's in the shape of a dome. So the word domed, something that is in the shape of a dome. The Taj Mahal had a domed ceiling, or the top of a sphere is domed. That's how we could put it into a sentence. So our next word is ancient. So in the story, they said that they could see ancient buildings. But cautiously, she walked towards the ancient building. So we're going to have a think about what the word ancient means. And this is taken from the Collins Dictionary, which we looked at together. And it says, ancient means belonging to the distant past, especially to the period in history. So if something is ancient, it means it is referring to the past, something that's happened in history. It says ancient means very old or have it being existed for a long time. So if something is ancient, it means it's very old, it's existed for a long time, and it's referring to something in the past. So like we were learning in history, you might be learning about something that is ancient. So if something's ancient, it's very old. So the sentences I have put together: in history, the children were learning about ancient buildings. The museum has a lot of ancient artifacts. So ancient means that something is very old. Well done. Let's move on to the next word. So the next word is mischievous, and in the story we're referring to Rebecca as feeling a little mischievous. And she was feeling mischievous because she decided she was going to draw with her magic red crayon on the wall. How do you think your mummies and daddies would feel if you started drawing on your bedroom wall? I don't think they would be very happy. And that's why we've described Rebecca as mischievous. Because if somebody's mischievous, it means that they like to have fun by playing tricks on people or doing things that they're not supposed to do. So Rebecca wasn't supposed to draw on her bedroom wall, but she decided to because she was feeling mischievous. So somebody who wants to cause some trouble, be a little bit naughty, do some tricks or something that they're not supposed to do, is somebody who is being mischievous. So, a person who likes to have fun by doing the wrong thing. So we might say that the children were being mischievous and sneaking into the classroom. So if it was playtime or lunchtime, you might be mischievous by sneaking into the classroom when you weren't supposed to be in there. And we said that in our story we're mischievous because she's planning something. She's planning to write and draw on her bedroom wall using her magical red crayon. So the next word that I've taken from Collins Dictionary and from our story is blazing. And in the story we said that Rebecca could feel the blazing sun on her face. And we know that when we had a little discussion on Monday in school that if something's blazing, the blazing sun or the blazing hot weather, it means that something is very hot. So blazing sun, she could feel the hot blazing sun on her face. So the word blazing, weather, that is very hot. So I had to shade myself from the blazing sun, or I had to wear a hat on my head to protect myself from the blazing sun. So we know that when Rebecca steps into this magical place, she could feel the blazing hot sun on her face. I'm just trying to see if I can find the picture in the story that shows us when she can feel the blazing hot sun on her face. So here's part of the sunset when the sun's gone down, and before that she could feel the blazing hot sun on her face. So blazing is when something is very hot. So your job today is you're going to be using these words and writing your own definitions. So you're going to have a sheet that looks like this to help you. And you're going to write definitions for each of these 5 words. And I'd like you to structure it the same way that I did on the flip chart. So you'll start by writing the words. So for example, the first word is dreary. You'll then write a definition for what dreary means. And then you'll put it into your own sentence. And you're going to do the same for each of these words across the top. And then like I mentioned, if there are other words in the text that you're not sure of, you can go onto the link for Collins Dictionary, or there's also Wordsmith, and you can research the meaning of some of these other words too to help you. So I look forward to seeing some of your English work to tell me how you would describe what these words mean. Happy writing! Bye!